Hello students, good morning. Welcome to SRT Secondary School. Welcome to first chapter of 10th standard in history, Maharashtra State Board. First chapter is Historiography Development in the West. What do you mean by historiography? Historiography is a study of information and knowledge what the historians have written in the history, that is called historiography. And development, what are developments are taken place in the West and the thinkers who have put their views and their information about a particular area, that is called development in the West. So in this chapter we will study about a different Western thinkers or Western philosopher or Western historians and what their ideas about history, how they have studied about history. So let us begin with the chapter. Historical research, writing and studies are carried out with an objective of understanding the chronology of the past events and the interconnection. This is a continuous process. So students, when you are having a historical research or you are having a documents that you have written and you have given a good objective for understanding the chronology of the past. What do you mean by chronology? Chronology is a sequence of the events that took place in the history. Now take the example of events. What is the past event? Like civil disobedience, non-cooperation movement, all India movements. So these are the movements. They are connected with each other. So when we study about interconnection, means this is a continuous process. These events took place after event. So it is interconnected with each other. So that is called chronology of the past events and their interconnection with each other. In the physical and natural science and the empirical method. So physical and natural science like chemistry, biology, these are the subject which we have studied, and the experiment should be done in the laboratory. Empirical method means it is an experiment method. Laboratory method of experiments and observation is used to verify the available knowledge. So guys, when you're studying about the experiment and observation you are doing in the science lab, we come to the conclusion. We see the observation, what observation we have done, then only we will come to the conclusion. We should have the actual knowledge of that a particular experiment, that this experiments give that kind of conclusion. So it is a verification of the knowledge. This method allows formulating laws that remain true irrespective of the time and space. Take example of Pythagoras theorem. If the Pythagoras theorem is given and that theorem we put some of the different values and that theorem we include as a correct theorem. Why we are putting different types of values in that theorem? Means it is coming from the ancient times. We have not make that theorem now, but that theorem is coming from the ancient time, and that theorem proved at a conclusion. Means that theorem is giving a correct knowledge, and it is coming from the past ancient times. So it is a correct knowledge what we are getting. Those laws can be tested and proved repeatedly. Why? Because we have done continuous process or continuous research of a particular experiment. So it is repeatedly. Moving to the next para. In historical research, it may not be possible to use method of laboratory and experiment and observation. So in olden times, we were not having a laboratory to do the experiment and observation of the experiments. But nowadays, we have lots of laboratory to find the conclusion of a observation. This is so because we are not present in the historical time and space, and the historical events cannot be recreated. We were not there at the time and we were not having correct knowledge. But at these things happened 100%. So we have to do assumption. First assume or we consider that this might happen, or after we will prove that. So in olden times we were not having a correct knowledge. Okay, these things happen, it is 100% sure or not. But we can do assumption. Assumption means कि हम लोग उसको मान सकते कि ये हुआ था, but हम लोग के पास actual knowledge नहीं है कि ये हुआ था properly. So just we can prove it कि yeah, this happened in those time. Also in history, it is not possible to formulate laws that remain true irrespective of the time and space. Sometimes we cannot make the laws, but if we make the laws, and sometimes if other person tells that these laws are correct and always it will be correct, means हम law बनाएंगे और हमारे law किसी ने गलत साबित कर दिए, or might be some person gave a proof कि what laws you make now, that law is not matching with the करेक्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन, सो आई विल बी प्रूव्ड एज अ रॉन्ग, कि मीन्स जो पहले पास्ट में जो लॉज निकले थे वो करेक्ट थे, बट मैंने अभी उसके ऊपर रिसर्च किया और मेरे लॉज गलत हो गए, तो जो मेरा जो लॉ चेक करेगा दैट पर्सन विल बी कॉल्ड मी एज अ योर लॉ वॉज नॉट प्रॉपर, so I will be treated as a wrong person. I have not proved a proper way of knowledge. To begin, need an expert who know the knowledge and the script of historical document in order to read and understand its meanings. So as you all know, in history there are different experts who understand the knowledge and script of a historical documents. Why? Because in medieval time only the person who are expert in history, only that person can understand the knowledge of history and script of a writing of historical documents. Like if you are expert in to understand the Sanskrit language, so we need a Sanskrit expert for knowing that knowledge. Also, the expert can examine the authenticity the documents by using criteria such as lettering style, author style of writing, manufacturing date, and style of paper stamps of authority. So authenticity means it is the correctness of the document, means that document is valid from last many years. Now, lettering style. So you know okay, there are different types of letters are coming from the ancient times. There are different letters which kingdom have written, or the person who are expert in writing the letter, they have written the letters. Author style of writing. So there are different authors who write the different style of writing of their handwriting. Manufacturing date. So manufacturing date, take the example of coin. The coin is having a date of 1980. So this kingdom has written this date, and a particular image of that person will be there on that coin. And this type of paper, so we have a different type of paper. Nowadays we are having a thick paper, but that time people used to write something on the different papers, or might be on the cloth, or might be on wood. So there were different types of paper they used to. Stamp of authority. Stamps of authority means the person who is having a authority, or the person who is having a stamp, means this kingdom has done this type of stamps, so they are having authority of doing the stamps. Such a document is further scrutinized by historians with the help of relevant historical references. Scrutinize means when we are having a historical document, so first we have to check the documents and examine the properly of historical references, that this reference are in a proper knowledge, or the person who has gave that information is in a proper way. Moving to the next diagram, that is historical research method. See, writing of historical narrative is like narration of a particular thing. If I got some letter, then I am writing history about that letter. But before writing narrative, I have to check that letter, that letter is who has gave or who has written is in proper condition or is in proper information, then only we will write a narration about a particular letter. Now, first is formulating hypothesis. Formulating hypothesis means it is like assumption, as I've already told you. If the things has came to us और हमने देख लिया कि भाई उसने वो लॉ बनाया, बट वो लॉ तो पुराने ज़माने से चले आ रहे हैं, बट अगर हम हमारा न्यू लॉ बनाएंगे तो वो नहीं चलेगा, बट वी कैन अज्यूम कि हाँ हम मान सकते हैं कि हाँ वो लॉ करेक्ट है, बट वी कैन अप्लाई ऑन इट. And second is critically examining of various sources of history. As you all know, we have different types of sources of history. But whenever we are getting information or some of the knowledge, first we have to critically examine that information. Whether that information is giving a proper knowledge or not, then only we will accept it. Examine relevant reference of the available historical documents. If I got some old information, then I have to prove it. That information what I have got, I have to cross verify that information with the old documents. Okay, this information is correct and the old one is also correct. Collecting historical information, highlighting the process that have to historical transition, carrying out comparative analysis. Means whatever information I have collected, I will highlight that important information. So before I should compare the information with other, first I will analyze of those information, then only I will accept it. Next is understanding the references regarding time and space of given historical events and also various conceptual framework used in historical research. So we have to check, or we have to see that whatever relevant information we are having, what are the historical events that we have happened in those time. First we have to research about a historical things, or what are the research they have done. Then only we have to accept it, or then only we will see that research is giving a proper information about a particular historical documents. Next is formulating relevant questions in view of the historical references. Means whenever I am researching of something like, or something like, I will be questioning from, I can be questioning from all the angles, that whatever the answer I will get, I should get all the answers in a correct way, कि मैंने जो क्वेश्चन किए हैं उन क्वेश्चन को मुझे प्रॉपरली अज्यूम करना है और उनके आंसर मुझे फाइंड करना है. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड फॉर्मुलेटिंग रेलिवेंट क्वेश्चन इन व्यू ऑफ द हिस्टोरिकल रेफरेंसेस.